Hi everyone, this is Marcia Howard again of New Treatment Nutrition. And as promised, since my last video on Saturday, which I spoke about digestive and gut health, it was such a huge topic that I decided that, and I did mention it in that particular video, that I was going to cover gut health and probiotics and why gut health is important. So this is just going to be a short video. I'm hoping it's not going to be longer than 15 minutes. If you have any questions after you've viewed this video, please pop your questions in the comments. I'm also going to post my email address, my contact details at the end of the video so that you're able to get in touch with me if you have any questions. I do hope that you have questions. I love answering questions and interacting with people because what I am hoping to accomplish is to bring awareness as to how we can make changes with our health. I've said in my other videos that my theme for this year is making healthy the new normal in 2022. For the last 2 years, we have heard very little about what we can do to boost our immune systems, as if our immune systems no longer have any value. And that's not true. Our immune systems has the capacity to build a defense against diseases. The thing is, we have to know how to take care of it. And this is where we tend to falter. So what makes gut health so important? I'm sure we've heard about gut health, especially in the last 10 years. It's been a hot topic. We go to the supermarkets and we see on the shelves that we have gut health products in the way of those yogurt drinks. Are all yogurt drinks helpful to our gut? No, not so much. And what makes some better than others? What should we be looking out for? And I'm hoping, I don't want to give away too much, but next month, I want to go into looking at the foods that we eat. Hint, hint, I'm going to be talking about clean eating. And that's something that, we're going to be heading into that direction, because we need to start cleaning up our meals, the foods that we eat, all in a hope that we get our bodies back to where we ought to be healthy by the end of 2020. So as I said, let me start because this is a short video. So where are we? I'm sharing my screen now, and here we are. So if we are to start from the very beginning. So this talks about the relationship between gut health and mental health. Why mental health? This was a program that I did for a mental health charity. This was one of the very early presentations I had done in the beginning of lockdown in 2020. And it was as I said, it was a mental health charity I was supporting. And while in isolation, of course, many of us turned to food as comfort. Many found themselves alone in isolation. And of course, we ate to comfort ourselves. There was nobody around. Hugging essentially became illegal. Interacting with people the way that we normally do. That network of beings and bodies that we had grown so accustomed to all of our lives was essentially taken away from us. So this was just a presentation I had put together to, of course, simplify what gut health and to focus on gut health, because with all the eating, if we eat the wrong foods, we can change the environment in our gut, and it will not be able to support good mental health. So what you're looking at is a picture, just a glimpse of what the internals of our gut looks like. So within the small intestine, you have all this bacteria living in there. It is teeming with life. Yes, it's out of sight. I'm sure you've seen those nature movies where they go to the depths of the ocean, and even in the deepest, darkest portions of the ocean, you can see the ocean teeming with life. And it's very much that way within our small intestines, even the large intestine. Our gut health, this is just a small portion of the billions of bacteria that live in there. But the thing is, the bacteria is both. We have two types. We have friendlies and we have foes. And the objective is always to get more of the friendlies in than the foes. So I'm just going to touch on what is gut health, why it is important, what is the connection for, well, for anything as that's going on in our bodies, not only gut health, but for all aspects of our health. Can we change it? And what should someone with mental health issues do? I will just touch on this briefly because, as I said, it's not really about mental health. At this time, more of an education of all the other stuff that I just mentioned. And then you have introduction and outline. So, we're just introducing. So basically, how does it work? So when we talk about gut health, first of all, let us start from the very beginning, which is digestion. And the digestive system, when we eat, we have to make sure that the food is broken down into the smallest particles, that it goes into the stomach, breaks down even further into this digestible soup because of the hydrochloric acid that is in our stomach, that makes it liquid enough to be passed into the small intestine to begin the absorption process. But this can only occur if our digestive systems are working properly. And what do I mean? If we have issues with chewing, acid reflux, we tend to suffer from indigestion. We have things like H. pylori or any type of stomach ulcers. This is going to disrupt how our food gets digested and broken down. This is why dental health is so important. As we get older and we lose teeth, it becomes more difficult to chew our foods. Very, very difficult. And this causes stomach problems, digestive issues as we get older. The longer you can keep your natural teeth in your mouth, the better for your digestive system and your health overall. So please take care. We have a responsibility to take care of our teeth. The gut microbiota is a complex community of bacteria. This study, or the study of gut microbiota or microbiome, as it's called, basically it really started ramping up over the last 10 years. The father of medicine, Hippocrates, he made the statement that all diseases begin in the gut. And we tend to take that very, very lightly. But essentially, all diseases begin in the gut. If your gut is not behaving, or if your gut is not functioning the way it ought to function, then you set yourself up for disease, essentially. So animal models have demonstrated that several factors contribute to and can significantly alter the composition of the gut microbiota, which includes genetics, the mode of delivery at birth. So for instance, whether you had a C-section, you were born by C-section, or you had a natural birth or a vaginal birth, that would determine your gut microbiome. It would determine the strength of your immune system, whether you were bottle fed or you were breastfed. And that's why we often hear breastfed is best. But for many women, breastfeeding is a difficult exercise. And I understand and appreciate that. And the use of medications, yes, the medications that some of us use can destroy gut health, especially the antibiotics. The more antibiotics you use, if you do not replenish your gut bacteria after you've completed your course of antibiotics, that can destroy your gut environment and cause other health problems to arise. And of course, your diet is also a huge issue. But does where you live matter? And the more I looked into this, the more I researched it, definitely where we live matters. If we live in a Western country where everything is basically sanitized, including the food that comes from the farm to our tables, we are going to have a different gut environment than, say, someone in North or South America, Africa versus Europe. You have Korea and Japan, and between rural urban populations of, say, Russia and China. There are some communities, some countries that fermented foods, which is something that I would touch on lightly here as well. Fermented foods also play an important role in gut health. Every single meal that they sit to have, there is some type of fermented food. And it is not difficult to see these types of foods in the various regions of the world when you sit and you look at some of the programs with food influencers, and the ones who have a very wide palette and don't just go to the better parts of the country, but they get down to the grassroots of some of the nations that they visit or the villages. It makes you realize how very gut diverse those countries are. And it is taught on to the next generation. However, admittedly, some of these countries, they are losing the ability to pass it on, as westernized cultures tend to pump fast foods into their into the populations. And it is such a shame because we have lost, westernized countries, we have lost our sense of what real food is. And we think that by eating a lot of these processed foods that we are making progress. We are not making progress. We are actually setting ourselves up for a lot more diseases and lack of resilience in fighting them off. And I have to say the last 2 years is proof of that, with those who were grossly affected by COVID-19 and even long COVID afterwards. So a lot more study needs to be done there from that aspect. Among possible drivers of this variation, diet has also been suggested as an important contributor, along with other factors, including geography, early life exposures, and genetics, as I said earlier. You can pass long life on genetics. I come from a family of long livers. My paternal grandmother died at the age of 99 and a half. My maternal grandmother died at the age of 92. My paternal aunt, she died at 94. And I have cousins who died well into their 80s and 90s. So I do come from a family of long livers. And yes, women tend to live longer than men because women take better care of themselves. If there's anything wrong, we are more likely to go to seek out a doctor than men do. They think some men just think it will go away on its own. And often when it gets to a chronic stage and there's very little, or the acute stage, I should say, there's very little that can possibly be done for them. Chronic disease is the ultimate killer of many of us. We wait until too late that there isn't anything that can be done. An important factor is that everyone's gut microbiota is unique. It is like your fingerprint. It is unique to you. But there are certain combinations and collections of bacteria that are found in healthy individuals. So since gut microbiota is so complex, it is difficult to pinpoint certain bacteria as the most beneficial. So this particular doctor, Dr. Homan, in a study that he did, one of the studies that I had looked at, he said it's difficult to identify 10 or so bacteria and say, look, this is what you need. But it doesn't work that way. There is no magic bullet. So the important factor is that we need to feed the entire gut environment. We need to make sure and look at the elements of what makes gut health so important and so significant. Your gut health can change according to your age, your diet, your environment, your genes, and medications, as I said. And your gut microbiota, it plays many roles. So just to wrap up, some of what I've said, let me just see if I can move this out to the way. Right, perfect. Like everything else in life, your tomorrow is determined by how you live today, and our health and how we age are no different. You know, we tend to think that there is, you know, some people just have the luck of the draw with aging, but that's not true. I mean, aging is very decisive. It is not only a physical thing, but it is also a mental, emotional, and spiritual exercise. It is determined by mindset. That's why some people, they may go old physically, but mentally and emotionally, they are sharp as a tack, and they do not age in that way. They remain very young at heart. In point, my neighbor, who is celebrating a birthday tomorrow. She's in her 70s, but she wouldn't say exactly where in her 70s. But she is very young at heart, very involved. She is not someone who sits at home and just mopes. I'm getting old. She's very independent, very active, and that is what That is what aging should look like. We allow ourselves to deteriorate. Another important factor that I've noticed where she's concerned, she does not eat a lot of fast foods. She seldom ever buys takeaways, and she cooks most 95% of what she eats. So she eats out of her pot, and that's an important factor. And she eats very moderate or modest amounts of food. I think a lot of times we tend to overeat, and that's another factor too that can drive how our body ages. In order to age well, we must eat well, and eating well isn't always what we think it is or should be. So again, this is a very individual thing. There are foods out there that perhaps you should be eating, but you don't like. So then what do? Find the ones that you do enjoy eating and eat a lot of it. Yeah? Have a varied diet. This is another way of building gut health. We will do well to learn from those who have done aging successfully. So look at the elderly in your community, the ones who are thriving and doing well, and engage in conversations. Do your own little study. You ask them, what do they eat? How do they eat? When do they eat? Yeah. And we could do well to learn from them. We have gotten to the point in our societies, we eat whenever we want, not necessarily if we're hungry. And if you're not hungry, the answer is don't eat. You don't need to eat if you're not hungry. We have chosen food as a form of entertainment. When we're bored, we look at a television program. We don't get out or interact with others. Some of us rely on food in order to entertain us, and then that's where a lot of the health issues start arising. So reminder, dysbiosis has now been associated with a large number of diseases, and I am not kidding on that. So what are some of the diseases that can be alleviated by good gut health or a healthy gut environment? You're talking about addressing digestive conditions like constipation, diarrhea, irritable bowel syndrome. It helps to assist in weight loss. A healthy gut environment helps to assist in weight loss because then it talks about balance. Improving cardiometabolic disease risks. It lowers your risk for cardio diseases. Chronic inflammation, it helps to improve that. Inflammation is the root cause of many diseases today. Inflammation, high inflammation. And where is that inflammation coming from? It's coming from the foods that we eat. Increasing nutrient absorption in the digestive tract, inhibiting allergic and autoimmune responses. That is what good gut health does. Preventing gastrointestinal symptoms associated with antibiotics, producing beneficial compounds such as antioxidants and B vitamins. Now, especially if you have decided that you're not going to be eating a lot of red meats, then you could be, or perhaps you're vegan or strict vegetarian. You run the risk of becoming B12 deficient. But little known fact, you need gut bacteria, healthy gut bacteria, to metabolize the compounds to produce and help the body to absorb the cobalamin, which is B12. We need the gut bacteria for that. So if your gut bacteria is poor, then you're not going to be digesting your or absorbing your B12 well enough. You're not going to be able to do it. So this has led to the speculation regarding the role of intestinal microbiota in maintaining host health throughout the life course. So for me, coming from a background of poor eating habits, starting my day for many years with a Coca-Cola, experiencing constipation, not wanting to eat fruit and veg, barely eating any fruit, not eating enough vegetables or fiber in my diet, I started having my poor gut health reflected in my health issues. So I had sinus issues, I had every seasonal flu, I would get really bad. And it would affect my chest. That's where it went for, straight for my chest. I would have a cough that would take months to go. Poor digestive health. You're talking about acid reflux and a host of other issues. But the minute I started working on my gut health, looking at foods that acted as prebiotics, and I'm talking about things like fermented foods, looking at eating more fruit and veg, and also the whole bit of insoluble fiber. The gut bacteria, it loves fiber. That's what it feeds on. It feeds off of fiber. So things like apple, it loves apple, the skin of the apple. Don't peel the skin off for your children. Just cut it into smaller bits. Make sure we get enough citrus, enough whatever wherever you are in your neck of the woods, find the fruits that are indigenous to your area and eat lots of it. Pick it off and have it from the tree. Enjoy it from that perspective. Suck the orange. Eat the orange pit. Yes, you can eat the orange pit, believe it or not. Yeah? Have your bananas, your mangoes. Have as many of your fruit and veg, your berries. Berries are also very good for gut health. So I want to encourage you to, if you do want to use a probiotic, again, probiotics, they're not all the same. Get something broad spectrum and try it out. Try different brands and different blends until you find something that works for you. And again, if you have any questions and you would like more information about what it is I've shared, again, it's just a tip of the iceberg. There's so much more to say, and I'm happy to sit one-on-one with you to find out how I can help you to address your needs. So I'm posting my video. I'll be sending this out as an email to those on my mailing list, but I'm also posting this on YouTube, and I'm trying to build my YouTube channel. So please like, share, and subscribe. Videos will be coming out quite regularly. Every week, I plan to put out a video. And also tomorrow, I'm doing my video on sleep. I'm doing my class on sleep and the practice of gratitude and what it means to our health and why it's important. So I hope that you pop over to my email, not email. I don't want you to pop over to my email. I want you to pop over to my website, which is nutreatment.co.uk. That's nutreatment.co.uk. Again, it will be under the video. Please go over to my website, and I would like it very much if you can register for the class. So I just want to thank everyone for their time. And yeah, I think it's been more than 15 minutes. It's very difficult to share this topic in 15 minutes, but this is the end for now until tomorrow, God willing. And I'll be talking about sleep and the practice of gratitude. Enjoy the rest of your day wherever you are. And I pray that the Lord blesses and keeps you. Yeah? All right. Bye, guys. See you tomorrow.